Well, it's something I learned during the preparation of the conference and about the topic is that it's very important to bring all the stakeholders together. It's a very complex topic, and we need, on the one hand, to have the researchers that develop new knowledge on the climate change, the impact of climate change. We also need the public, let's say the politicians that make regulations, that make national plans, that vote national plans. And finally, we need also the engineers that implement the works that need to be done to adapt or to mitigate our life towards climate change. While we tried for each conference to have all of them represented, but at the end, each conference lasted 1 hour to 1 hour and a half, and it was never possible to cover all aspects. We needed to make some cuts, and it was not possible to invite everybody to each conference. Well, we had invited no politics, but in the last conference we will have a representative from the Ministry of Environment to explain to the public the national energy and climate plan, and to give also indication what are the mitigation adaptation strategies that are foreseen in the new version of the PNEC. But no politicians. But we had some politicians that were attending the conferences and who asked questions afterwards. So that was also very nice. Well, of course, Luxembourg has to contribute, and like other countries, to adapt and to mitigate climate change. But I think what is very important is, and their research is of course very important, that we need to have the solutions for Luxembourg at the regional and national level. And simply for rainfall, if we look in Luxembourg between the east and the west, there's a big difference in rainfall, and we have different types of soils, and each soil will have different impacts on climate change, for example, on the water storage and so on. So we really need to improve our knowledge on the specificities of Luxembourg to develop the right solutions to adapt, to mitigate to climate change at the national level. We cannot simply take solutions that are developed in Mediterranean areas or in East Europe. We need to adapt them to the Luxembourgish setting. Yeah, I think we are on the top of research as well, especially at the Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology. We have about 200 researchers, engineers that work around climate change, adaptation to climate change in different sectors, from biodiversity, agriculture, viticulture, water management, and so on. Yeah, Luxembourg, we know the Luxembourgish carbon footprint. We are the second country after Qatar, so almost champion in worldwide, so this is well known, but we also, and researchers from the Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology contributed to adapt this international carbon footprint to the Luxembourgish setting, because we know, because of the small statistics, that if we simply take the numbers as they are in the general statistics, that is not correct, simply because of export from petrol that is not used in Luxembourg and so on. So we were part of adapting this carbon footprint to Luxembourgish setting, but still we need at least 5 Earths, even if we make the statistics right, to 5 Earths of resources are necessary, let's say, if we continue with our present lifestyle. Yeah, I think as we have seen in the different conferences, there are many adaptation strategies, mitigation strategies that need to be set up. Not only in natural resources management, as we have seen for biodiversity, in agriculture, viticulture, so also farmers need to be to adapt, but also more generally, I think in many different domains like smart mobility, sustainable construction, land management, to develop in towns solutions to decrease the temperature in summer, the decarbonization of the industry. So there are many domains beyond simply the natural resources management where the input from the engineers and the new technologies, innovative technologies will be necessary. But on the other hand, what we see is that technologies alone will not be enough to find a solution to everything. We also need to change our behavior to mitigate, adapt to climate change. Technologies alone will not be sufficient. We have already the technologies, but we see still that the situation is not improving very much. We need to change also our behavior. I don't know to whom gives the fault, but let's say scientists already 40 years ago signaled that there will be problems when the GIEC was set up and so on. But indeed, we did not manage maybe to pass the message to the politicians, to the general society. But I think the scientists were the first warners of that something is going wrong. But still, I think, and that's also an objective of this cycle of conferences, maybe we need still to be more active in explaining our research results, bringing them to the general public, to the politicians. And as scientists, we are not necessarily always good in this because we are speaking maybe a too technical language and so on. So maybe in the future we still need to improve our communication to bring it to the general public and the politicians. And that's a little bit the objective, one of the objectives of this conference cycle, to have scientists speak to the general public and explain the situation for Luxembourg. I think skepticism is a general, not only in Luxembourg, but in many countries. And I think there again, we need as scientists to show the fact-based results to convince also the society and to link up to the society. I think it will be very difficult to meet the targets of the Paris Agreement. And we have shown for Luxembourg, if we continue as now, the annual temperature will increase by more than 3 degrees. And we see already now, with the increase we have, what consequences this have on our agriculture, on our viticulture, on biodiversity and so on. So doubling this increase from more or less 1.5 now to 3 will even worsen the situation, with the risk also of more extreme events and more frequent extreme events in the future.